Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday, everybody. Hey, listen, welcome to the Black Man Unfiltered Network. And I'm back. I guess since my anniversary and Labor Day Monday and all that kind of stuff, I guess I've been here intermittently, but here we are, another Monday night show. I believe 100 Watts is going to be joining me soon. I did send them the link somewhere, and we're going to wait for some folks to come on in and join us. So listen, hopefully everybody out there is feeling cool. Did y'all see the game yesterday? This is the thing that keeps Lamar Jackson from being the number one best quarterback out there, man. Listen, it wasn't his fault per se that they lost that game yesterday, 41-40. But, after my man fumbled, by the way, he gave me so many fantasy points. After the running back fumble, okay, and Buffalo scored, Lamar Jackson had the ball, and what he needed to do was get a first down. I don't care how he did it. I don't care what Harbaugh called. They were supposed to get a first down so they could run out the clock, and they didn't do it. And I think they should have went for the fourth down play because it was clear that the Ravens defense was not stopping Buffalo. It was clear. I said, you're going to give them back the ball, and all they need is a field goal, and you're not stopping them. You haven't stopped them all second half. They're kicking your ass all over the field in the second half. So when it was fourth down and 3, I don't give a shit whether it was on your own 45-yard line. They should have actually went for the win. They should have went for the win. That's what I'm thinking. Even if they wouldn't have made it, I don't think it would have made that much difference because when they kicked the ball off, Buffalo got the ball on their own 20-yard line, and they marched right down the field like it was butter. Like it was butter, I mean, the defense didn't stop Buffalo in that fourth quarter at all. So I was really disappointed. Really, it doesn't really matter what we know that in the end, Baltimore is going to probably have a record like 14-2 or some shit like that, and and then it's going to all be in the playoffs. They can't beat Buffalo. They can't beat Kansas City. So how the hell are they going to get to the Super Bowl? So, I mean, look, listen, Lamar Jackson's he's a great quarterback, but you got to do great things. Every so often, you got to do great things. It's as simple as that. And it's a black man. I could riff right now until people come in here, man. Get off my airways. What's going on, Trey, man? What's happening, Curtis? Hey, listen, man. Oh, Curtis came in early. Hey, listen, thanks for the $4.99. What's up, RP? Hey, well, you know what's up, man. I mean, you know what? I'm not even an overarching Baltimore Ravens fan. I just like to see the stigma get off of my man Lamar's back. That was a game they should have won. One of my best buddies is a Buffalo fan, and that's another reason I had to hear him talk his shit, man. So there you go. So let me see, man. I know I sent the link to 100. I'm sure he got it. So there he is. Well, once he comes in, he got the link. So once he comes in, I'll bring him up. And anyway, what's going on, Trey? Yes, you're right, man. It's Super Bowl or bust this year. Okay, so while we here, we're gonna talk about this modern liberalism, feminism, and socialism. Those key elements are really could force the downfall of what we consider the United States of America. Now, some people don't give a shit because they don't think America is worth saving. I happen not to be one of them. I hear we got all the bullshit, blackity black shit. I kind of like the fact that, the check keeps coming in the mail. We have some semblance of law and order. The world around us can't just take us for granted. all that kind of shit, man. We can go from east to west and north to south and do all that kind of stuff and be kind of free. I think that's just kind of important if we look at ourselves in the backdrop of the rest of the world. And there's elements internally that could really F all of that up. So I put together in my head the three pillars of destruction, and I never thought I was a complete social liberal or anything like that, because some things I was never for, even though I voted Democrat. But I think because that was just indoctrinated into me. But this particular discussion is not going to be about Democrats or Republicans, not necessarily, not per se. We're talking about ideology, liberal ideology versus conservative ideology, and how that plays into feminism, how that plays into socialism, and how those three destructive elements, if in the right hands with the right levels of power, can F everything up. I mean, we saw a little bit of that when Biden was president, and Kamala Harris almost got the prep. Well, she didn't get close, but it was some scary moments there. So anyway, that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today. Of course, I have all the requisite, videos and shit that I'm going to show and that kind of stuff. So let me just give you one of the visuals that I was talking about. And this is the one I was talking about. So I hope to put my charts together. And this chart here is, I think, the destructive trio, as what I said: liberalism, feminism, and socialism. And here's some of the things that cut across all of those ideologies that, if in power at every level, from the local all the way up to the presidency, can just F everything up. Everything. The intersectionality part of it, the identity politics that, if I like to eat mice and I got enough crazy ass people who like to eat mice, those people have to be treated just like somebody who's a Christian, who believes in the Lord and all that kind of stuff. We got to make way for even the, chicks with dicks, all that kind of stuff, that, they should have equal weight and everything that goes on. I don't agree with that. Right? I mean, even if as being a black, right? When whites said, you know what? Just because you're black, you shouldn't have everything. Well, they were wrong because we were born this way and they owed that to us. So we're not the same as people who choose to do crazy things. Being black is not in the DSM, but being a man who thinks he's a woman should be. Okay, so that's the big difference. Of course, then we get this bullshit about equality of outcomes. Liberalism, they believe that shit. Right? Not only should we all be equal, but everybody should be equal the same way. No matter how hard I work and no matter what I do, somehow we should share all the accolades. What they call it, the participation trophies. That's what that part of it is, right? There's people in liberalism, for their sakes, the feminists, mean that some women should be able to do everything that men do, whether they can do it well or not. They should have the opportunities that men do, so what's going on, man? What's happening?
What's happening?
Well, man, how you doing? What's going on? What's going on, man? I could take a step back. How you doing?
Hey, man, getting off work last minute, trying to hurry up and run in here, man. I've been trying to catch up.
Hey, man, what time what time you get off, man? Around 7 Eastern or a little later? Because we can always go back a half hour.
No. Today, no. It's my schedule just be a little inconsistent. It was 6:30 today, and that drive home, getting in the house, taking stuff out your pocket, all that stuff.
I got you.
That's my bad. I'm catching up.
Yeah, no problem, man. So I was just I started out talking about the football game, and BMU tried to admonish me for that shit. So I had to tell them get the hell out of here. Last night's Ravens game, man. Shit, Lamar Jackson. Anyway, again, so centralized government, the control the means of production, right? There's a little element of that in all these three pillars, centralizing shit, man, making sure that if I can't get what I want, I'll use the government to force people to bend to my will. And of course, DEI against merit-based outcomes. And we need to have a better discussion about that. But if you can see you can see elements of this in each one of these things, from liberalism, feminism, and socialism. But let me talk a little bit about feminism. There are conservative feminists, so they don't act like liberal feminists. They're conservative feminists. So the white women who generally are conservative feminists, they believe in power and control. But in some way along the way, they still understand the need that they need their men. They still tend to get mad.
So you saying those is the happy wife, happy life. You must pay for my entire life.
No, I'm not. That could be part of it, but that's not necessarily what I'm saying. They might have that leverage on some of their men, but some of their men are powerful, right? But do they believe in happy wife, the trad wives, and that kind of shit? Maybe. All I'm just trying to say is that you could be a conservative and be a feminist at the same time. I think I believe conservative feminists also get married more. I think they probably, I try to look this up. They didn't want to admit that they have less baby deletions than liberal feminists. What they said is that the proclivity of baby deletions are more for liberals in blue states. That's kind of like the same thing I'm saying, but they won't just admit it because they say they don't have the hard numbers. So there's a little bit of difference between feminists who are conservative and feminists who are liberal, because liberal feminists are just outright crazy. They actually hate men. Those are the bull ring chicks and all that shit. So that's just some of my thought about it. And of course, there's what you call layers. And then, of course, socialism. Definitely the control, centralized control over how we mete out resources, that kind of stuff. So these are the pillars that I think that if run unchecked, like look at New York, they got this Mondani guy. That guy Mondani, if he becomes mayor of New York, he's going to try to do all kinds of funky shit. And then the guy out in Minneapolis, Somali guy, if you listen to what they say, man, those guys, they're pretty much communists, So anyway, so
it really seemed like our
Go ahead, man.
It really seemed like the socialism is where like we headed towards. It's like this idea of accepting everyone no matter what their proclivities are, like this idea of everyone is equal thing. Like we really are heading towards socialism, and that shit is scary.
Absolutely. I mean, that's where let me take this down. So actually, that's one of the things I was looking at. So when I put this out there, I had this idea in my head. But I said, man, it's just kind of complicated, and we're going to only be able to touch the surface here with the time we have. Even if we did, you got to have the chops to talk about some of this stuff. And a lot of it that I've looked up, I have like different videos and stuff like that. But I want to play this one video that I always do when we talk about liberals and conservatives. And it's just a small little cartoon to show the difference. And I might not go through it all, but here goes. We're going to just play some of it so we can get it popping, so we can get the definition out there to whoever's listening. Let me play this. Now, I played this several times when we hit these topics, but this is real short, 3 minutes.
When it comes to the social elements of the state, the two major ideologies that philosophers focus on are conservatism and liberalism. Conservatism is associated with beliefs that a country or state should hold tradition and custom as the most important aspects of their society. Conservatives do not like the idea of social change unless it is absolutely necessary. Conservatism basically favors long-standing traditions of culture, religious beliefs, or national defined beliefs. I see. Conservatism carries patriotism for the nation state and believes that our belonging to a nation with a history of beliefs and culture brings us and the people in our nation closer together. Our national identity, our social structures, norms, values have been built up over thousands of years through many generations.
Well, let me stop. When we say thousands, let's just say if we keep it to America, we definitely haven't been around 1,000 years. But this is kind of the crux of the whole America First movement. They call it MAGA, but it's not. It's more than that. But if you think about when traditions and cultural norms and shaming and all that kind of stuff started to go away, it kind of really picked up a lot of steam in the 60s and beyond, right? Through all the eras. And, you know, and the evolutionary and the change was kind of radical as opposed to evolutionary. And I think it kind of outpaced some of the conservatives and they lost their way until Trump. I want to come back to that, but go ahead.
To shape us and
maybe until Reagan. But even him, some of his policies weren't as conservative as what Trump is trying to do now.
Make us who we are, and conservatism believes this should be preserved and protected. Yes, I understand. However, in the last century or so, we've seen radical social changes across the Western world, the whole world, in fact. As human beings, we're a creature that is always changing. We're learning, we're evolving, so of course there are going to be social changes, because we as people are always changing. Okay, but conservatism isn't against change.
Well, listen, the guy is right. We're always changing.
Change completely, but rather it believes this change should be a slow or gradual process. It could be referred to as organic change. Conservatives understand there is a social change, but would like to control it and ease it in piece by piece so as to not disturb the wider web of society. It doesn't believe in radical change or any form of revolutionary change in a society. Well, there has been radical change and revolutionary change in many parts of the world, and a lot of this has been beneficial. Conservatism is concerned with social culture, but there have been many cultures of oppression and subjugation around the world, and conservatives would argue that this still needs to be protected. It is because of this that I favor liberalism. Liberalism is based on the political philosophy centered around the individual. The individual should have as much personal freedom as possible, providing their freedom does not affect anyone else other than...
Let me stop it right there. Let me stop. You got to see, I wanted to stop it right there because what he said was critical, right? I don't know if you caught it. I mean, you probably caught it too. The individual, as long as the shit that you want doesn't impact everybody else. That's not how liberalism is being meted out today. Matter of fact, people's individuality is very intrusive on everybody else, right? And then they look towards the state to back them up to make sure they can do their bullshit. And that's where the problem comes in. Liberalism, the old liberalism is a whole lot different than it is right now because they're using the state as a weapon to make everybody fall in line with the minority. You know, and so, you know what, and it's a lesson I think a lot of Black people learn from the standpoint that, yeah, we deserve to have the equal access to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, as long as we can try to change the nature of America to bend towards our will. For example, and this is a stupid example, there ain't no such thing as a Black national anthem. Right? And there's no way for us that we should try to force that shit on people who don't want to sing that. You know what I'm saying? As an example, you know, and we shouldn't have, we shouldn't try to find ways to make people accept that because, you know, we're Americans. We only have one national anthem, right? If you want to sing the hymn, you want to sing it as a hymn, go right ahead. But, you know, so that's the way that's just one example. You know, so I don't know.
I agree with you. If Black people want to restart the Negro League and then play the Black national anthem, that makes perfect sense. But to think that you're going to be in the MLB and think that they're going to play that before one of their nationally televised games, no, that's not how that works. You know what I'm saying? And I think
we got a disagreement. You know, I'm surprised. Trey said, "Oh, we should be singing that." I don't think so. I mean, I like lift every voice to sing, but it's not a national anthem. But
I think, look, if we're gonna talk about changing the national anthem, then let's change the national anthem. But it doesn't need to change to the Black national anthem. That's all I'm saying. Like, if we're gonna say, hey, the national anthem is racist because of the fourth verse in the song, if that's what we're gonna do, okay, cool, I'm with that. But that doesn't mean we need to change it to the Black national anthem.
I agree. But say, I was just trying to say my point in terms of us being a 13% group trying to say, well, the other 87% should bend to our will, right? They say the transgender is 1% group, and they damn sure have tried to make all 99% of us bend to their will. You know, so okay, we got Trey up here, man. Shit, you know, should I let him up? Man?
If they got their own national anthem, they
What's
can
up,
save
Trey?
that for their drag races and shit.
What's going on, man?
All
right, so what's the disagreement about?
Well, if your league is predominantly Black and your fundamental base of how you make money within that league comes off the backs of the Black entertainers and athletes, the least you can do is sing the damn.
Oh yeah, see, we wasn't talking about
song.
the Negro
That's
League.
the least you can
do.
I'm not talking about the Negro League. I'm talking about the NFL and the NBA. They sing it before
now here's the question for
the
NFL.
Here's
the question for you then, Trey. The majority of the workforce is Black. Who's the majority of the revenue come from?
What does that have to do with singing a Black national anthem?
If the job of the league is to market to its revenue, why would they specifically target 13% of the country?
But I'm not talking about targeting anything. I'm talking about your employees. The majority of your employees are Black. The people who make you the money, the attraction is Black. People come to were you not just talking about Lamar Jackson? The people come to see the Black people play the sport. The least you can do is sing the Black Negro anthem. Who's it hurting? Who's it hurting?
So the point that what it sounds like to me is the point that you're making is the paralyzing the players for the ability to create another league where they have the ability to play the Black national anthem if they so choose to.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. Because they're
okay. So why? Because you don't agree with that. Because you don't agree with that. Why would they add it? Because it's not exactly. It's why. So why? For what reason?
Because they're already doing it. They're already singing the Black national anthem. They're already doing it.
Right. Yeah.
Where?
What do you need to create an entire new league for? If they won, they got it.
Right. Can I throw monkey wrench in this conversation? Let me throw monkey wrench. I don't think they should be singing any of the anthems at these fucking games. I don't think they should be singing the anthem at all. Not the regular anthem or the national anthem. I really don't. Why? Why the hell we got to sing that shit? I mean, you want to stand up and maybe pledge allegiance or something of that shit? I don't know. But not even that. But why don't we just play the game? You know, I mean, because, you know, is it really a show of national pride one way or the other? You forget about just the Black national. As a matter of fact, I don't think it shouldn't even be called the Black national anthem. But not because it's Black, it's because it really wasn't meant to be an anthem. Right? It was a spiritual that somebody adopted. I don't know what it was, Tashik Nareed, whatever his name is. I don't know who the hell came up and said this is the Black national anthem. But anyways, but I mean that's neither here nor there. But the fact
is, singing has been around for a very long time. We used to sing it when I was a kid, and I went to a Catholic private school. It's nothing new. It's nothing new at all. And the fact that anybody would take issue with them singing a song before a game, same thing with the national anthem. I have a problem with the fact that they don't even say the Pledge of Allegiance in school anymore. I remember growing up and having to say the Pledge of Allegiance every day before our classes started. I have a problem with the fact The issue here is that our ability to want to allow people to have the freedom in this country has shaded over patriotism. We're still in America at the end of the day. And my firm belief is if you don't like it, pack your shit up and leave. Go to another country. Let's see how long you want to stay there.
Yeah, no,
People
I
talk
agree
about
with
going to other
that,
countries all the time, but they never stay unless they're marrying some Filipino chick or some Thai chick.
All right, so let's get back on track. Listen, all I'm just trying to say is that this is like kind of a sidebar, but the truth of the matter is, it was just my example that brought this up. And you have the right to disagree with that anyway. But one of the things I have a problem with the way things are in the first pillar with liberalism, I think right now the way it's being meted out, one is violently aggressive. Like you can't even have a conversation with some of these liberals out here because they get really. Everybody thought the MAGA people were aggressive. I think liberals are a whole lot more aggressive than them. I mean, we see them in the streets every day. Bucking up against police and throwing shit and rocks and going crazy. Liberals believe in censorship. I mean, maybe a lot of people in power do, but we saw them actually make that shit work during COVID and during Zuckerberg making his mea culpa that he was complicit in it for the liberals. I guess public cancellation. People used to get cancellation for just their views. I think people were losing jobs over their views, and some still do. And then we had one person who was a presidential candidate and maybe some people might agree with this, but I'm gonna play it anyway, who thought that maybe we should legalize or decriminalize sex work. So let me go ahead and put that up for a second. Here we go. Let me share it, and then we'll come back and talk about it in a second. Okay. All right.
The sex workers. Watch the clip.
Now, on the issue of providing a safe place for sex workers, I am a huge advocate for that, always have.
You think that ought to be decriminalized?
I think so. I do. I think that we have to understand, though, that it is not as simple as that. It is also about there is an ecosystem around that includes crimes that harm people. And for those issues, I do not believe that anybody who hurts another human being or profits off of their exploitation should be admonished or should be free of criminal prosecution. But when you're talking about consenting adults, I think that, yes, we should really consider that we can't criminalize consensual behavior as long as no one is being harmed. But at the
all right, okay, what do y'all think about that? Anybody? Y'all can go first.
On the surface of what she's saying, it sounds great. It sounds amazing on the surface of what she's saying, but that doesn't change the point that she's making. Like decriminalizing the work doesn't change the ecosystem that she's talking about that comes around it. So I'm not really sure what the benefit of. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Let me ask. Well, before you go, Trey, do you think that she's somehow trying to speak to the constituents of women out there who think OnlyFans is and things like that are their way out, their way up? You think she was speaking to a specific base by saying this, Trey?
He might have been, particularly speaking to a more liberal female base. But I got to be honest with you, I agree with her. Even when I was a police officer, I always asked the same question: who's the victim?
Right.
If you have two consensual adults and they've decided to have this child.
Is that you? Hey, wait a minute, hold on. I gotta keep going. I try to put them on.
It's 100 watts here.
Yeah, I got it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
If you have two consensual adults who are choosing to have a transactional relationship, how is that breaking the law? Hey, because my question is, in order for the law to be broken, there must be a victim. Somebody has to be damaged or injured in the process. Nobody's damaged or injured because both sides decided that this is what they wanted to do. So I've never understood that. And I'm gonna tell you what they used to tell us, RK, when we were arrested.
Okay.
That the victim is society, which is what they would tell us to write.
Okay.
That was the victim, society, which I always thought is stupid. And as far as I'm concerned, it's already decriminalized. OnlyFans is here. Women are making money off of selling sex acts and been doing it for a long time. The prawn business is one of the top businesses in the world. The top 3 websites in the world are prawn websites. So yeah. It ain't like it hasn't been here already. It's already been here. My thing is that if there's a woman, and what I really think their issue is a lot of people's issue is you have 18-year-old, now freshly 18-year-old legal women who are going to take advantage of this. And for instance, the chick, Lil Tay, the day she turned 18, she got on OnlyFans and she made $1 million her first day. And I think that's what people want to guard against. The chick that was on Dr. Phil, Bad Baby. The day she turned 18, she got on OnlyFans. She made $1 million in like 6 hours. Right. Yeah. So I think that people, that's what they're trying to guard against. But at the end of the day, again, who's the injured party here? She made $1 million, and the other guys
but Trey,
who's the injured party?
But Trey, that would be the same as decriminalizing drug dealing because there's 2 consenting adults making a transaction.
No, not necessarily.
It's not even close to being the same.
Not the same.
But how would it not? Though?
Yeah.
In what way would it not be the same? If there is
because we have a body of work and evidence that shows the destruction that drugs play in somebody's body.
Right.
Having sex doesn't.
Okay,
you could be married and have sex, and your body doesn't get destroyed. But if you're on cocaine, you're getting cooked every single time that you do it. Same thing with alcohol.
It's not one of those things that's closed between the 2 people. I mean, the drug traffic involves the innocent people around it as well. You know, I mean, the user and the pusher. I mean, essentially, there's a lot of inherent danger around that whole trade, right? Especially if you're an addict. You have to, especially you lose money, you lose this, you go after other people to get your fix. Now, the sex workers, 2 people, not necessarily. And matter of fact, if it's legal, maybe you get rid of the pimp. Now, my problem is that as a person who wanted to be president, or the person, so we're saying, you know, because you're right, it's the oldest profession in the world. Women are openly selling box on TikTok and everywhere else. And men are openly buying it, right? Because they're the biggest customers. So that part of any kind of governor over the sex trade is gone. It's absolutely gone, right? I mean, how do you protect sons and daughters from this shit? Or do you? You just hope that
my question is, what are you protecting them from?
Well, certainly there could be a case made that you would like to at least protect some of your daughter's virtues. Not your daughter, but a girl's virtue from
what? From being paid for having sex?
From being in a sex trade, period. No, listen, Trey, I hear you. I don't want to say devil's advocate. You know what I'm talking about.
I'm not playing devil's advocate. I'm dead serious about this. I don't understand. There's no victim. If the women are, if these young girls are already having sex at the age of 12 or 13 anyway, what are you protecting them from? They're already having sex.
So here's the thing, right? So with my daughter being a teenager, I have the understanding that sexually, like, she's just at the point now that she, like, it's just gonna be what it is. Like, I can't control her. I can't monitor her 24/7. You know what I'm saying? So it's just gonna be what it is. But if my daughter is going into high school with the idea that OnlyFans is a career option for her. So if if she gets to her senior year and she's telling you that her options when she graduates is the military, college, and OnlyFans, that's kind of scary, big dog. You know what I'm saying? Like having that be a viable career option for a young girl is kind of scary for a parent because of knowing what comes with choosing that. The same way with choosing to be a drug dealer, you know what comes with that.
Always a viable option because she's a female. The moment she turned 18, she could have gone into prom if she wanted to. It's always been a viable option.
That is true.
I have a daughter.
But so what stop? Okay, but Trey, what's okay? Then answer this part. You know, because I'm not disagreeing with you, but there is something that stops every viable woman from being a hoe like that, a prostitute that way. There's something in them that inherently says, you know what, man, I don't want to go out where I have to just sell pussy to live in that fashion. I mean, because everybody's going to say there's always some element of barter when the pussy is given up, right? Okay, but we ain't talking about those edges. We're talking about strict, hard, you know what, man?
Straight sex work. I get it. Straight sex work. Yeah. What stops a woman from doing it?
Yeah.
I don't know. The better answer, this is a question where we would have to sit 18 to 25-year-old girls, women down, and ask them, what has stopped you from not wanting to do it? Because the issue is they all can do it.
They all know it.
And they all know somebody who's doing it.
And they all understand that it's a commodity that you could barter with.
And not only that, most of them have thought about doing it.
Right.
So here's where I'll agree with
honest,
you.
I can't get inside the head of an 18 to 25-year-old woman and tell you, well, what's stopping her from going to OnlyFans or what's stopping her from being a porn star. I don't know. Maybe it's the way she's raised. Maybe she doesn't want to embarrass her parents. Maybe she feels cheapened by the act. Maybe I don't know. I'm sure there's a combination of all
of that, right? Exactly. So that's connecting my liberalism and feminism, because feminism tell the women, go ahead and fuck your way to the top, man. That's okay. You're free. So I'm just trying to say, but these things, there's something. If we had a society, I mean, I think men will say, okay, I would love to play in a society where women I could just like, if she finds me halfway attractive and I got some money, I can get some ass without worrying about her being a fed.
I can see that. Look, here's where I'll definitely agree. Earlier, you made mention into having history and information to prove how harmful something is. In the country where liquor is legal, I guess it would make sense for this to be legal as well, like at least decriminalized. In a country where selling beer and alcohol is just like the everyday thing, and we know the history of drinking and driving and alcohol and domestic violence and all of these different things, if that's some shit that we're going to allow to be able to fly in this country, then I mean, hey, why not? Like you said, 2 consenting adults, why not? There's a consenting adult that sits down at a bar that has shot after shot, so fine, why not? Why not just make it at least decriminalized the same way they've done with marijuana? Why not?
And Trey already mentioned that it's pretty much decriminalized already. So let's ask this question: a country full of whores, would that lead to the end of the republic, or would everybody go out happy?
Yes.
Why would it? Why would it lead to the end, or everybody just go out happy? We're all fucking our way to oblivion.
Because we know most men's weakness is pussy, and if you can pay pussy to distract a man from whatever his directive, if I can pay pussy to distract a general from whatever his missions are, or if I can pay pussy to distract the president, if all I got to do is just pay some pussy to go distract, it's that much easier. It's complete failure. The ability to just walk out of your house and say, "Ooh, how much?" You say $40, bet here go $40. That's complete failure. Men already do stupid shit for box every day. We do stupid shit for box every day.
All right.
So to make that just a normal thing, yeah, that's the demise. I don't see that being a thing.
I don't disagree.
I actually see it a different way. I think that what would happen is that men will become desensitized to it, pretty much like how they are now. If you know that all you got to do is just pay to just go get what you need, right? It almost cheapens it. The hustle, the chase aspect of it is sort of out of it. And what we have now, think about it. You have women that go to pool parties or say they were at the beach and they were practically butt naked, and the men didn't even talk to them because why? They're desensitized to it. They're desensitized to naked women now. Yeah, like seeing a naked woman doesn't have nearly the effect it once had when I was growing up. Like when I was in the military, my first couple of years in the military, going to the pool and seeing chicks in bikinis was like, whoa, like thong bikinis, like butt cheeks out everywhere. It was like, whoa. Now it's nothing. Like it's just like, all right, whatever.
We're all doctors now. We're all
exactly. So I actually think it would have a reverse effect in the sense of men just would pay because they just need to they need to get the venom out their body, and they probably go back to work. Now, what I will say is, I think, and I've been an advocate. They need to bring brothels back. I've said this before. They need to bring brothels back, and because I think it will actually save some marriages. If a man ain't getting what he needed at home, he can just go out to the brothel, go get his rocks off, and go back home. Me personally, that's what I think.
That's not. I mean, it's funny though. We're hitting on the sex part, but again, I mean, we're kind of driving down a little bit of it because a lot of it is here already. Women are starting to understand that their provocative dress is not the draw like it used to be. They're seeing it. You could do it. I mean, matter of fact, you might get more play if there was less revealing. God said, "Shit, man, let me see." Not too much side.
And not only that, our pain, but we are in a monetized dating market. We are now fully in a monetized dating market. Most of these women want money for their time. They don't really care about you as a person. I've said this before. For a woman to actually get to know you, it don't cost no money. Y'all go to the park and sit down on a bench and talk. That don't cost nothing. If she's really truly wanting to get to know you, now there's a cost associated with dating. But hang on a second. If you actually go look at the history of dating was for prostitutes. You took prostitutes out on dates. That's how that worked. Because in courting, you didn't do that. You didn't need to do that. That's what courting was. You took hoes out on dates. So now that these women are saying that they want to be taken out on dates, all they're doing is reverting back to a time in which that's what it was, and now saying they want to be compensated for their time. Well, we literally just did a full 360. We went right back to where we started. So now that you live in a monetized dating market, you mix that in with lax prostitution laws. You mix that in with the no more taboo of being a porn star. Everybody's got an OnlyFans. This is the direction we're headed in. We're headed in a decriminalization.
Okay, let me ask you a question. So maybe Kamala Harris should have made just the top of her plank. Free pussy, monetized pussy for everybody.
I guarantee she would have got more votes from the white men. She would have got more votes from the white men for sure.
Yeah, because this is the first. I mean, putting this together is the first time I actually heard her say this. I didn't know she was for this. Not that I would have voted for, because so many other things I can't stand. Yeah,
I knew she was for it because this wasn't the first time she said it. I knew she felt this way because I said this is the only thing I actually agree with her on, that because there is no injured party in this, because there is no victim in this, I don't understand. If a woman says she wants to sell her body, well, who am I to tell her not to? It's yours. It's your body. Do what you want with it.
I'm really surprised that for her to even say this is controlled and scared to say shit, that she came out and said this out loud, means that she's really believes this stuff. And as a woman, she's saying, you know what? Shit, I've sold my box before. Ask Willie.
And you're right, exactly. And she also said that sex work is work. That's her. She said that.
That's right.
She says sex work is real work. She says
sex
work is work.
Kamala 2028. Kamala Harris 2028. Anyway, listen,
this is what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying right here. Telling my daughter that putting 40 hours on your back is the same as a man putting 40 hours on a concrete road. That is crazy as fuck.
That's some diabolical shit, man. You know what I'm saying?
To be fair, she's not going to have to do 40 hours on her back. I mean, she does it right. Maybe 2 hours at it. I'm not wishing this on your daughter. I'm not wishing this on your daughter at all. But I'm just saying, like maybe 2 hours at the most. Maybe 2 hours.
That's funny.
And then she gonna get a couple of 2-minute brothers in there. Not her, but women get a couple of 2-minute brothers in there, man. That's easy money.
See,
but think about
see, the problem. See, now you're teaching a level of entitlement. You telling me that all you got to do is work 2 hours a week? Like there's a level of entitlement now that's being taught there as well. Like
they're already entitled. They tell you that. Hold on. Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't women expect for men to pay for meals? They're already entitled.
Yes.
They still trying to harp on a tradition from a long time ago, but meanwhile they're not traditional women. So this entitlement goes way further than this. I'm simply making the point that we're already 3/4 of the way there anyway. That's all I'm saying.
And there's no real argument. There's no real. Let me go on to the liberals being soft on crime, and that's really destructive, right? It's been destructive, and you could tell the difference between blue area controlled areas and red controlled areas. Not to say that there's no crime, that crime is going anywhere, but even in the red states, the places where the most crime happens are in the blue cities, even in the red states. And it's sometimes it's subtle because people try to say that. But here's this thing that just happened recently, and I have a video. It doesn't show the crime, but we're going to hit upon that in a second. Let me just kind of get there. And I think what this happened in Minnesota. And I want to start it from a certain location. All right. Let me start it from here. Let me share. Is it shared? I got to share it with you guys. Hold on for a second. All righty.
You'll notice right away, this looks like any other ride aboard the light rail. People are doing what they do these days, keeping to themselves, scrolling on their phones as they ride along. The man accused in the killing, DeCarlos Brown, is in the red hoodies on the right side of your screen. He appears to be maybe a little emotional, perhaps a little agitated, but nothing disruptive. There's nothing that gets anyone's attention. About 30 seconds later, Irina Zarutska boards.
Did either one of you guys see this before? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I seen it.
Okay.
She's wearing a hat, shirt from a pizzeria, and she sits in the row in front of Brown. She has earbuds in and is looking at her phone. She too is just minding her own business. They ride along for around 4 minutes with nothing unusual happening. Then around 9:50 p.m., Brown reaches into a pocket. We've zoomed in on it here. He pulls out a pocket knife. No one notices a thing. Seconds later, he would stand up, and from behind, unprovoked, as we stop the video, he would stab the young woman several times.
Wow. Stuff like this just makes you angry. It just makes you angry. This just should not.
Well, listen, and the extension of this, they show him walking around with blood dripping from his hand and a knife. So I'm not going to show that. I just want to go up until the mayor's response, right? The liberal black Democratic mayor's response. And you guys tell me who you think she had more concern for. All right, let me get back to it.
Until they finally snap and do something crazy like this. So again, the Democrat mayor is getting backlash for her response to this. She claims she's not going to post the footage out of respect for the family, but I think the real reason why she's not going to repost the footage is because of the fact that this doesn't fit the narrative. But she says that this was a senseless and tragic loss. My prayers remain with her loved ones as they continue to grieve through an unimaginable time. Like so many of you, I'm heartbroken, and I've been thinking hard about what safety really looks like in our city. I remain committed to doing all we can to protect our residents and ensure Charlotte is a place where everyone feels safe. And she's getting absolutely ratioed on this. Colin Rugg says, you sound more angry towards people sharing the footage than you are towards the violent thug who stabbed Arena. Bizarre. Jeremy Prom says, interesting how you couldn't just say violent racist attack where a black man attacked and murdered a white woman simply because of the color of her skin. Now, again, I'm not even sure if that's really the motivation here, but we all know what the reaction would be if the roles were reversed, right? Could you imagine a random white man stabbing a black woman? Yeah, we do know that people would be, pulling the race card saying that, well, this happened.
That's true too. But this whole thing is, I mean, you could put race in it. I don't know if he would have did this to a black woman. My daughters ride the train every day, just about to go to work. This is some scary shit. She didn't see what was coming. Now, I think the guy is just crazy, but I don't know if he did it because she was racist, because my man just said it. But I say this, if he was a white man and I was a black woman, this shit would be all over the place. We would see Black Lives, would resurrect Black Lives Matters, and maybe rightfully so. The problem I really have is, as a black man, if that was a black woman, we might not even hear this at all. What do y'all think about that? If she was a black woman and he was a black man, is there a possibility we wouldn't have seen this at all? Because the black, we got to say it, black men hurt black women all the time. Not every day, but you know what I'm saying? We don't hear
No, we got to be balanced and we got to be fair, right? The statistics are very clear that majority of the violent crime that happens towards black women comes from the men. So let's just call a spade, right? Let's call a spade. And this is an example of a violent black man. I can understand if he was provoked. I can understand if something happened. This is completely unprovoked. He looks like he's dealing with demons sitting in that chair. I'm not making any excuses for him, because I am a firm believer in the death penalty. This is a death penalty case for me. That's how I see this. This man should never be able to breathe air ever again for what he did to this woman, simply because it's completely unprovoked. This woman didn't do anything to him.
She's completely unaware. I mean, she's just checking. I mean, the kind of danger that she's in here, or any woman is in, she doesn't even know what hit her. Nothing. It was so fast, even the people next to him, even their peripheral vision didn't catch what he was getting ready to do.
And here's the other part of this, Martin. Stabbings are personal. Right? When somebody stabs someone, first of all, you have to be close enough to stab them. You have to be within arm's length. Right. So a stabbing is a personal violent crime. It comes from somewhere inside of you that you want to create this type of harm against someone. It's not like shooting. You could shoot somebody from yards, feet away. You know what I mean? You're not right up on them. But in this particular case, look how close he's within a foot. He's within a foot of her.
A very small woman. Very small.
Happened because this white man, was racist and hated black people and just wanted to take it out on some random black person. They be saying stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, again, this is this is crazy. This person says sunlight is the best disinfectant. Charlotte mayor is responsible for this violence. All politicians that allow violent criminals on the streets to prey on the innocent are culpable. You should be charged with accessory to murder. And then at Pam Bondi, look at this. Look at all these mugshots.
This guy got arrested 14 times. 14 times.
This is Minneapolis.
Yeah, this is Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte, North Carolina.
And she's a Vaya. Remember when she got put in? She's a light-skinned black woman. So their laws there put this guy back on the street. And this is my problem with the liberals and the law, right? They have no problem putting the worst vile criminals back into the neighborhood to prey on other black people. I would imagine out of the 14, until this killing, probably the other 14 victims were black.
Look at his mugshots. He looks crazy.
Crazy.
Look at his mugshot pictures. He looks insane.
Crazy. Man. I mean, and they just unleashed this dude right back out there, man, every time. You know, so that's really what I wanted to show. That I mean, that's just a failure of the system. Anything on that 100 watt?
I'm telling you, the way technology is working, it's about to be a whole lot easier for, like, just like he said, just look at his mugshots. He looks crazy. There's gonna be facial scans that start measuring your face to flag you for mental health issues. Like the direction that this is going, it is becoming very interesting. It's gonna come to a point to where you walk out your house and police have eyes on you just simply based on your face symmetry.
So it's that Minority Report, man. That's Minority Report, man.
Hey, look, man. People when people used to talk shit about all these futuristic movies and how they're unrealistic and all of this shit. Hey, man, we living in it. All the movies that came out in the late 90s, the early 2000s that was talking shit about 2045 and 2175 and all that shit.
Right,
hey, look,
right.
We here.
The
Jetsons is happening right now.
We got Big Ant, man. Pain, be honest. The lack of substance, most of them today are raised with what other choice? Well, what other choice do they have? I don't know, man. You know, whose fault is that? They say hi to you by turning around and showing you, look at me. What's that? If pimping was in now, I could be rich. Yeah, I read that like I was a third grader, but that's okay. Anyway, so anyhow, hey, thanks for the $10, Big Ant. You're right, man. You know what? I want to agree to disagree, but you know, I can't. I just can't, man. The lack of there's absolutely a lack of substance with people today, and the ladies found a way out. And you know what? The men are paying for it. We have to call a spade a spade. They can't make that kind of money without a whole bunch of hard dick men out there, man. Shit. That's why when we did that show about men going to AI and robots, that's just gonna, I mean, it's coming. If I don't have to talk to a honey and I can get off, I think guys are gonna be doing that shit, man. You know, and
sex work is gonna be the new gambling addiction.
Yeah, or sit down here listening to Anissa telling us how stupid we are and shit like that. Fuck that.
Well, if you actually do the math, following an OnlyFans chick is actually cheap. If you do the math in the long run versus getting married, a $23.99 subscription is much cheaper than getting married.
Is that cheap?
No, they're cheaper. They're actually much cheaper than that. I actually gave you a more expensive one. I've seen a couple of girls that was on Fresh and Fit. Their shit was like $7.99.
Yeah.
So when you tell a man that doesn't want to get married, has had bad experiences with women, and he can get off every night for $7.99 a month, what you gonna tell him?
Hey man, more power to you. You know, I mean, golly, I mean that's where we are.
And you also have to remember this: women don't have the same effect that they had 70 years ago. Mm-hmm. Men don't pedestalize women the same way anymore. I remember back in the day, if a woman dropped shit, men would rush over. Oh, let me help her up. I've seen women fall, trip, drop shit, and people just look at her like, all right. Yeah, it's not the same. There's so many videos of women on the train, and they on the trains showing all the men sitting down, and nobody's getting up to let them sit down. Like, we don't pedestalize women anymore. Them things are over.
You are your old shit. Hey man, listen, man. Okay, let's keep going because I know we be on the clock. Listen, Malcolm X said, of course, that the white liberal is the biggest enemy of black people is the white liberal, telling us about we victim and all that. That's not true today anymore because they already planted the seeds. The biggest enemy of black people is the black liberal. It's the black liberal perpetuating the same bullshit that the whites did. I call it Stockholm Syndrome. These two mayors are some of the most traitorous black mayors that you could individuals in the whole goddamn country. They prioritize illegal aliens over blacks in their own communities, not only with their words, but with the dollars that taxpayers pay. And it's all documented. And Brandon Johnson's got to be the one is in Africa with the guys, running with the, whatever, running with the tribes while her city's burning. And Brandon Johnson is just the worst, man. This guy is the worst race-baiting, Stockholm Syndrome, coon guy I've ever seen. And I never even used those kind of terms. This guy is horrible. And guess what? The black people might just put him back in office because his skin is black. That's just going to kill black people. It's already happening. Chicago's got to be the most dangerous city in certain parts in the whole country. And he actually, and I don't have this clip, he actually said, hey, man, our murder rate is down. It used to be, our murders are down. It used to be, it was 1,000 at one point in 1 year. Now it's down to 600 and something. And he stopped there like, okay, it's only 2 a day now. It's only 2 a day now. It's not 2.5 a day. It's only 2 a day now. So I don't like this guy, man. He's horrible. He is horrible. Anyway, so I'm just saying that these two people are just bad, man, for everything. And I of course, I just say, I don't know what we're going to do with them. And that's why they got this new group out there called Chicago Flips Red. Have you heard about that? They got this chick, and I'm going to just go ahead and share it and so I can play that because I got a lot of videos. I guess you back, Charles. Okay, there you go. They got a group out there called Chicago Flips Red. And, of course, it's a couple of ladies, of course, but there's a couple of guys in here. They just don't get, these ladies don't share the spotlight with them.
The very people who are enforcing it now are often blacks themselves. Black Americans today, loyal to the Democrat Party, vote blue no matter who, no matter what, they have taken on the exact same attitude and disposition of their old white Democrat masters toward their own people. They've done it. They've become the overseers for the new plantation of thought control. They're not defending their brothers and sisters. See, you only a brother or sister if you are ideologically liberal and progressive. They're trying to police these people. They want to silence you, mocking you for daring to think freely. It's the same thing. And honestly, what other explanation can we give for this madness except Stockholm Syndrome? Because it ain't like the history books are silent on who was responsible for implementing the Jim Crow system. So this is Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome happens when victims start identifying with their oppressors, when the abused begin defending and even protecting their abuser. That's exactly what we're seeing playing out in cities just like Chicago. Black Americans have been suffering under Democrat control and tyranny for decades. How do we know this? Look at the outcomes and the results. We have broken families, crumbling schools, skyrocketing crime, and yet they still defend the very party responsible for their suffering. Worse than that, they're now attacking anyone who tries to break the cycle. These ladies are literally standing up saying, we've been under the captivity of the mind.
Here's where I think I have to go ahead and take a little bow because I've been saying this shit. And I'm not the first guy who started it, but it's like when you start saying, well, I see a blue car and all of a sudden you see blue cars everywhere or green cars everywhere. Because when I first came here to this channel, I said, we got to get off this goddamn plantation because our vote is somehow I had this revelation. It just started coming to me after Biden got elected. I said, it's time for us to really have a sea change. And Stockholm Syndrome is one way to look at it, but I look at it more like a Trojan horse, right? We vote for these people with black skin, but inside, they're the enemy. Barack Obama, we love that fucking guy. And he didn't do shit, man, except give the, alphabet community his best shot. Right. And he unleashed all of them on us. And now, we're still 92% of black women still voting for the Democrats and people with black skin. And I got a list of at least 30 black women, mayors, AGs, DAs, and judges who all fumbled the bag from the trust that black people gave them. So let us finish saying.
We want to do something different. But instead of joining hands with people like Zoe and Danielle, who are fighting for safer neighborhoods and stronger families, they're lashing out at them because they've grown loyal to their political captors. It is classic Stockholm syndrome dressed up in political loyalty. Where's the lie? Where's the lie? And this isn't subtle or hidden. This is blatant. It is so obvious. It's the left saying, if you step out of line politically, we'll humiliate you. We will isolate you. We're going to shove you into the margins. Y'all, they don't need bull collars, dogs, and hoses anymore. No, they've now have corporate boards and social media mobs and the wait staff at the restaurants. They are ready to do their dirty work. That's not Jim Crow. That is Jerome Crow. Jim Crow and blackface. The new segregation is all.
Hey, Abby, how you doing? Go ahead. What you got to say? Go ahead. Oh, I got an echo.
Jerome Crow was funny. I just found it so funny.
Yeah, Jerome Crow is hilarious.
Well, she got a couple more things to say because she's got some smoke for men coming up. And maybe you guys can. I had a little bit of issue with that one, but let's go.
It's not about skin color. It is purely ideology. If you dare to be black and conservative in a blue city, they'll try to put you back in your place. That's exactly what they try to do to this group here.
It's the weakest group of black men. I ain't gonna hold you. The weakest group of black men I've ever met in my life. I really feel sorry for the level of down lowness that we have in our group, in our community. That the fact that we can't get nothing done at all we do is go back and forth. Y'all going back and forth with women who are out here standing on the front line for us because y'all been voting blue for 40 years and they have done nothing for us but continue to take from our communities, taking from our children, taking from our elders, taking from our families. Look how this administration is going hard for illegal alien families to stay together. But they did nothing like this when it came to our families, and that's why we're so divided.
Okay, so she's absolutely right. She is absolutely right. This is the part that really got me. It's the fact that we have women on the front lines. Women are the face of this group. I don't believe it's men. It is women. Whenever I see Chicago Flips Red, I am always hearing from the women. It's Zoe, it's Danielle, mothers, daughters, entrepreneurs, and advocates. They're the ones that are saying, if you come for us because of this red shirt, we're not backing down. I'm not mad at them. I applaud their bravery for this. But let me ask the question that nobody wants to ask. Where are the conservative men in Chicago? I mean, is everybody a gangbanger in Chicago or in a gang or some sort of liberal zest?
Anybody have anything to say based on what she just said?
Yeah, I got a lot to fucking say.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. I got some more.
I am so sick and tired of women, and let me tell you why. You guys fight for a lot of BS. And as soon as the shit hits the fan, you start looking for men. Where are the men? What happened to the men? You guys, and whether you are conservative or whether you're a liberal, you always make the decision that y'all don't want us to be a part of it. You don't want to follow our leadership. You don't want to listen to us because black men have been telling you since the 90s, get off this fucking plantation. You didn't want to hear it. Y'all couldn't wait to campaign for Obama, even though black men told you, I don't know about this dude. I was one of the ones out there telling I'm not voting for that dude. Something about him just ain't clicking with me. I don't get it. You were getting ready to do it again. You did it with Biden. You were getting ready to do it again with Kamala. Y'all don't listen to us. And y'all have made it known. Y'all have made it clear. We're not following behind black men. You want to know why? Because the government came in decades ago and gave you money, and you went with zaddy government. You didn't go with us. You went with zaddy government. So stop asking for men to step up and fight when we do, you won't get behind us, because that's where you're supposed to be. Not beside us, behind us. In a support role. I'm so sick of this. Every time the shit get real, R-Pain. See, it's all cool when ain't nothing happening. When ain't nothing happening, they good. But when the shit starts to get real out here, they start looking around, well, where the men? Why won't the men come out? Nah. You got it. You got it. Hold on. Y'all supported Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter wrote on their website that we are looking to destroy the nuclear family. Black men been telling you the backbone of the community is the family. Y'all supported them. Well, we kept telling y'all, get off this LGBTQ stuff. Y'all support it. Nobody supports it more than black women do. Nobody. Y'all don't want us. Y'all don't want our help. So stop asking for it.
You got anything 100 on this?
I just know when these midterms come, all these federal jobs that black women lost is going to be our fault when the midterms show up. It's going to be black men's fault when the midterms show up.
You think it's going to matter?
They blame everything on us, though. That's my issue. Everything is always our fault. It's our fault. And I've said this before. You guys keep asking black men to fix a problem that we didn't break. We didn't break this. We didn't do this. You want us to fix it. We're not fixing it. And so shout out to the conservative black men that's up there in Chicago. By the way, I think that Trump made a mistake. His first city he should have started with should have been Chicago. He started with DC. I don't quite understand that. He should have started with Chicago if you want to send the National Guard into anywhere. But the problem is there's no real federal land up there, so there's no way for them to really patrol up there like they can do down here in DC. So I get that. But this whole idea, like, oh, you want us to come in and save the day and ride in on our white horses and put our angel wings out and we'll fix it. Nah, we're not doing that. Fix it yourself. You broke it.
I had something to say. That's why I stopped it there. I wanted y'all to get a piece in this thing because I'm gonna play a little bit more, like another minute, and we'll see. Because I thought April went a little bit off the rails in there. It was a live for this channel. I said, women don't, maybe it was on my own channel. Women don't need men until they do. It was one of my, let the women tell it. And women actually don't need men until they do. And I started to kind of put together the way women behave with men. And it's different than men. If a woman if you don't have some purpose for a woman, she won't even let you anywhere in her orbit. But I'm not even talking sexually. If she can't see what she can extract from you as a man, she won't have anything to do with you at all. You'll be absolutely invisible to her. So anyway, Curtis Moore, $10. He has a question. I have a question for the panel, and this is for anybody. Do you think mayor like Brandon Johnson are being compensated? Oh yeah, for keeping the murder rate up. That's tough. I don't think they're compensated for that. Do you believe Brandon knows better, or is he just willfully ignorant? He knows better, and he's willfully ignorant because that's where he hides. But is he being paid to keep the murder rate up? I think he's being paid to keep the status quo, whether it's the murder rate or whether it's just keeping blacks in their place. That's what I think. I think that all the Democrats and all the people who poll this blackity black, the victimization, they're just playing on the Democratic plantation. I think that's what they want. So thanks for the $10.
I think that these guys that are in these blue communities, these Brandon Scotts, the Brandon, what's his name? Maryland. Muriel Bowser down here in DC.
Yeah.
I think that they're being paid by the whoish community. That's what I think.
Oh yeah, we gonna say APAC. Everybody's holding the APAC.
Can you hear me?
Yes, what's up, man?
I just want to address it because you ain't addressing nobody in these chats, but I want to address Anissa because Anissa It's talking about what they got, where the father to these thugs, all this here. Oh, Nissa, your president Barack Obama had an opportunity to change everything. He chose to support penis suckers instead of trying to get rid of thug suckers. See what I'm talking about? See the difference? He was all about male cheeks instead of worrying about getting the city neat. It's simple. It's as simple. I don't know why we keep thinking that Obama was this God. He's not. Obama is gay. His wife used to be a man. His daughters were adopted. Let's just stop this now. I'm sorry. Trey, handle her ass, Trey. Shit. I'm over here trying to cheer you on. Handle this shit, man.
Why you put it on me? Listen. I have learned to ignore her. She's never going to blame women for anything. It's never the woman's fault. If her statement is that the fathers aren't in the home, then that means that the mothers are raising the kids. And so if the kids turn out to be POSs, that's a direct result of the parent that's in the home. Now, if you want to ask the question as to why the fathers aren't there, well, we need to start asking what the dynamic is of relationships when we clearly know that women leave relationships more than men. So who's really leaving here? Who's really creating these single mothers? Who's doing it? But see, this is something that she doesn't. Statistics and facts, she doesn't like those. So it's not a worthwhile conversation to have when we know that Black women leave relationships more than anyone. They are the least married and the most divorced, according to the CDC. They are. So who's leaving these kids the most? It ain't Black men. And in most cases, most Black men who do walk away, it's because they didn't got hammered by the damn court system so much they can't even see their damn kids. So they say, well, fuck it, if I can't see my kid, what's the point of me even being around? Yeah. But we don't want to have that.
If you want to change the narrative, if you don't like that narrative, if you want to change it, the only option is instead of chasing down the baby daddy to put him on child support, chase him down so you can drop the fucking child off with him.
How about that?
Yep. How about that? You know, hey, this is BMU, man. You know, I was leaving her for you, man, because nobody gets into this and shit like you do, man. So that's
no problem, man. I was over here and I said, man, Trey finna get her. And I think Trey ain't seeing it. But Arpain, I got one more question.
I did see it, but I don't want to interrupt Arpain.
What you gotta say now?
It's his show, not mine.
No. These things just came in on a tail end of something else. So we would have hit one or two of these. But what are you going to say, BMU?
I had another question for you, man. It's a little loud where I'm at, but I'm going to say it, then I'm going to mute. Do you have any, have you got any protection for your daughters or stuff like a gun or well, I don't know if y'all can have them in Jersey, but knife, guns, peppers, anything that will protect her riding the train every day?
Well, they can't ride around with no goddamn gun on the train. They got pepper spray, but my point is, me and the daughters, we got some plans to go to the range. I know for the one who's in her own apartment, I told her she needs to have a gun. So we're gonna do that. That's in the works. But the other one who goes on the train, I just tell them they gotta just be, diligent, man, whatever the word is. They just gotta be, man. Like with this video, I'm showing this to my daughter. I said, listen. Don't be, because I think that the trains in New York are like horizontal. The people know nothing, some of them. They're not sitting behind you. I said, if you got somebody looking kind of crazy or squirrely behind you, don't sit there. Do something. I mean, but I don't know.
Anissa, who raising the kids, Anissa? I don't know why you just want to answer Trey's question. Trey asked you a question. He said, "Who raising the kids?" 80%. You got 80. The community right now is at 80% black single mamas. 80%. So that means the 20% that's succeeding probably got their father.
Yeah, that's the problem. I think the one of the other problems is I think men just haven't really decided that we want to get together and change this shit because there's too much evidence, empirical otherwise, that women are horrible fucking parents by themselves. They are. I mean, how much more evidence do we need? I mean, this shit, if this was an experiment, it's over already. Every so often we see a guy who made it to the football league say, "Hi, mom." What's that? 1 in 800 million? The women are fucked up, man.
Something I do think is interesting in this conversation that never gets brought up is the percentage of those children that become older and then they go speak to their father to like kind of
Wow.
gain context as to, hey pops, what, like, you know, what really happened here, and be like,
Wow.
oh shit, you know what, my bad, I thought you was a piece of shit, I ain't even know it was like that, my G. My bad. You know what I'm saying? Like that happens way more than we even talk about. Because I have plenty of people in my life that
Absolutely.
became 25, 30 years old before the first time they talked to their father. And then once they had that conversation, be like, damn, I didn't know all that happened. I wish
And
that I
even
knew this when I
still,
was younger, so we might have had a relationship.
but even
Yeah, let's
still, the father kind of soft shoes what he really thinks about the mother. Even still, he probably soft shoes that shit.
let's use some celebrity examples of people that everybody knows. Tyler Perry found out that the woman that his dad wasn't his actual dad. Kurt
Right.
Franklin found out that his dad wasn't his actual dad. When
Right.
Tyrese's daughter got old enough to choose who she could live with, who did she decide to live with? Her dad.
Right.
Dwayne Wade went and got his boys. Now, one of them didn't turn out so well, but hey, he's one for two. 50% is not bad. Okay,
One for two.
no, he's
God
got three.
damn.
I think. Actually, I think he's got three. He's got a daughter too,
Yeah,
right?
I thought
But
that was somebody else.
everybody else with Gabrielle Union, right? So when we put these black boys into the hands of the father, or we give them an opportunity to go be with the father, they typically turn out pretty well.
Mm.
For the most part. Very rarely do they not. This whole idea, and at the end of the day, we don't want to place the blame where the blame lies. The blame lies with the moms, and we don't want to do that because that somehow makes the women look bad. But the truth of the matter is they're the ones who are raising them. At the end of the day, that's the one who's raising them. Therefore, whatever you're imparting on them is based on you. And if you didn't have a relationship with the father that you could that could be sustainable, why are you having his kid?
That's right. And the other part of it also is, and I did that for this channel too, alienation. The a percentage of men, like we hit on it, that are alienated. I mean, by their women, is astronomical. Nobody really talks about it. It's a big deal, not just for black men, for men in general. Women get vindictive and they take it out on the fathers by using the kids. I want to play this last minute so we can get this thing off. Because April says something that kind of redeems this little goddamn tangent she's on.
Beta boy, soy boy. I mean, is that it? Why are women left to take all the darts while weak men are heckling from the sidelines? Zoe was right when she said it. Chicago doesn't need more beta male soy boys on the block. It needs the strong, godly men who know how to lead, protect, and provide. My question is, where are they? Where are they? Those are the men who are almost absent from this movement. Now, I'm open to being wrong. If there are men that aren't part of this movement, great. But from a visibility and an optic standpoint, my question is, where are you? Because we are dealing with the fallout of this is, let me put it like this. The reason why I think we're probably not seeing more men as the face of this movement because we're dealing with the fallout of the generations of matriarchal squalor. That's when you have 2, 3.
There you go. That's it. She already has the fucking answer. Right? And if I'm looking at these two hyenas right here, there's absolutely no fucking way that they want a man in the middle of them. Anytime they get a chance to be in the mic, they're on the mic. I've seen men with the red shirts who want to be in this thing, but I never see them sharing with these chicks here, man. You know, and the big back, okay, what man is she submissive to? You know, come on. And then the other one looks, I mean, I applaud what they're trying to do, but they don't look like people who are like man friendly.
So let me get this right. These two big backs here, one with a bad wig, and the other one who is a stud, probably thinks he's a man, right? These two had a change of heart because they was good with it at first. They had a change of heart, right? That's what's happening here, right? They had a change of heart, and now that because they had a change of heart, they want the men to come back them up.
Exactly.
The fuck out of
here. Exactly. You know, shit, man. That's why she said that, and I said, okay, this is bothering me. Was April saying, I like April Chapman. Go ahead, Vic. What's up, man?
What's happening, fellas?
All right.
I had to
What you
come in and
got?
get my pound of flesh, man.
Go ahead, man.
Because I don't like either one of these sides, and I'm going to tell you why.
All right.
They're employing the same tactics as the hyenas. They're setting men up to be crash test dummies to do their bidding without having to doggone do the bidding of the men.
Did you hear what I said?
You see what I'm saying? It don't matter what side it is. And April, I'm surprised at her, but I'm not, because she's using the same stuff from the playbook as the hyenas. She's using shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right to send guys out there to be trash pandas. You see what I'm saying? To get beat up. And they don't actually they don't even serve these men. It's like you said earlier, man. You know, you're supposed to be here to serve the men, but you don't want to do that on either side. So to me, that raises my ire to the highest of festivity. You see what I'm saying? You call yourself on the blue side and trying to, you know, do whatever, and then they ignore you. But to hear this from the red side, oh my God.
Did you hear what I said?
To me, that's irritating. It's the same playbook. What happened to women being inspirational? What happened to women being the motivation behind men? What happened to women being wise, you know, and intelligent? They're using the same damn playbook, Arpain. And it bothers me, man. And you know, the killer part about it, there's not enough men like me with guts enough to call it out on both sides down the line like it's supposed to be called out. I'm disappointed in both sides, and especially with this one, because she would sit up here and put on a damn MAGA hat and turn around and shame the very men she should be exalting.
Did you hear what I said?
And I'm done with it, man.
I hear you, man. That's why I said this. That's why I said this will be a good one to have a discussion point, because I'm kind of surprised that April should have said what she said up front. That, you know, maybe we don't see no men because there's generations of men being passed down with this matriarchal bullshit. And she probably should have left it there. That's because she answered her own question. And it wasn't no maybe, it's an absolutely. Actually, there are men in this movement, because I've seen a couple of their videos. But
and you know, the killing part about it, Arpain, we always get the messed up end of the stick. They always put us against each other. You see what I'm saying? They always have men fighting each other, and I have the suspicion that's the reason why a lot of guys are in jail, because they are fighting against each other instead of working toward each other. Trey, would that not be a fair assessment?
No, I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. They a lot of these guys want to fight the battle for the women, fight behind women, and getting. She's essentially trying to send conservative men out to the slaughter. She's essentially what she's trying to do. She's trying to, and then she's trying to shame us into believing that, well, we should just do this. Well, you should just do this. Where are y'all? Where y'all at? Well, we're smart enough to know. Nah, we're gonna step out of this one. We're gonna step out of this one because again, it's one thing to understand that these two women, this was their fight from the beginning. I can understand it, but you having a change of heart ain't got nothing to do with me. They got nothing to do with me as a conservative black man. You just changed up. And now, because you've seen the light that black men been trying to tell you for how many years now? I know my uncles, I watched my uncles, they were saying the same stuff back in the 90s. Y'all need to get off the plantation. Y'all need to stop doing this. They was talking in the 90s like this. So that's 30 years ago? Y'all didn't listen to them then? You didn't listen to him for the 8 years that Obama was in office. You didn't listen to us for the 4 years that Biden was in office. You hated Trump every step of the damn way. Every step you hated him. You hate him now. But you want us to come out like, come on, man. No, absolutely not. Like I said before.
I think what's amazing. I think what's amazing about this is another great representation of how women don't know how to speak to men. Because most of the men that are thinking, like Lit said, like just straight down the middle, trying to be objective, everything like that, I don't need to be outside on the street with a red t-shirt on. I don't need to be on YouTube with a red MAGA hat on. Like, I don't have to have these certain markers that y'all think we need in order to be able to accomplish what we need. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is when that date comes up and you go to that voting poll, who are you voting for? I don't give a fuck what kind of antics you do when you go to a protest, because you can walk with a sign all you want to. to pretend like you support one thing, but when you go to that voting booth and you vote something different, it doesn't matter what you represented. What you actually did is what matters more than what you represented. So the men that actually have the ability of accomplishing things and getting shit done, and the ones that have the split down the middle of logic thinking and the ability to do, we don't have to have those social markers that for some reason these women think that we need to have. So for those of us that have the free thinking mind to make the decisions, let's just not let this little bullshit take us away from continuing to do what the fuck we've already been doing. Because some of them there's just no convincing some of them.
Yeah, I agree, man. Listen, I can guarantee you, these two women voted for Kamala Harris, and they probably voted for Brandon Johnson, and now they don't like what's happening, and all of a sudden now they want some men with them. I mean, just stop it, all right? And so
you know what the deal is, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
The deal is that they're coming for the pookies. They're coming for the pookies. These are the men that they're laying down having children with. That's the reason why they're crying our pain. They're not crying because the conservative kids are in trouble. No. That's not it. Because you can't control, you know what I'm saying, those conservative guys, but you can damn sure control the doggone pookie. You know what I'm saying? Those pookies are the ones that allow them to do whatever it is they want to do. They can look down on them because they're not as educated as them, and they can still pound their chest and say, I am woman, hear me roar. So when Trump rolls into town, he takes away their playthings. Oh, now it's a problem. You know, now all of a sudden, when these guys are getting paid from the federal government, hey, send us a couple $800 billion so we can fight crime. Trump was like, no, don't worry about it. Fight crime a little cheaper. We're gonna send somebody else and then take care of that for you. No, please don't take our pookies away. You know what I'm saying? And that's only gonna leave them with the guys who are gonna make them do right. And like we said earlier, they don't want to do right.
Did you hear what I said?
They don't want to do right. And I think we're missing that part, man. We're taking away something that they love so much. It's the men that allows them to do what they want to do. And that's the issue.
Well, here you go. And that's, like I said, man, that's where they are. And feminism, third wave and fourth wave, the third one, the identity politics. And now we're into that fourth and the real destructive wave of feminism, the Me Too movement. And not only do the women want to be equal, they want to be in power. The fourth wave feminism. And listen, here's the problem. Men have put women in positions they don't deserve. They have it because they get voted in, but they're police chiefs, fire chiefs, AGs, DAs, mayors, governors, and they all govern. The liberal, democratic, I hate to say Democrat, but the liberal women, they all think the same way. The very first thing they think about is how can I fucking cloud my line of succession with a whole bunch of DEI hires, lesbians, here's my thing. I have a problem with the statistics of it. Like Mayor Karen Bass put a lesbian fire chief in charge. So I had to do some numbers. There was 4,500 firemen in Los Angeles. There was only 115 women. So out of 4,500 men, they told me that out of the 115 women, that woman was more qualified than 4,800 men. That's just statistically impossible. It's statistic. I said, get the fuck out of here. So they put her there, and then her second in command is another.
Your mic went out.
Her thing is, and her thing, the reservoir was dry, and her second command was another woman. And Rome is burning, and there's just a whole bunch of people around who probably shouldn't be in those positions. And every woman, like I said, I keep going around in a circle. I have a list, and maybe I'll do another show of at least 30 black women. 30 black women, all the way down to the mayor in New Orleans, and all the recent shit. They all fumble in the bag the same fucking way, stealing money, fucking the subordinates. They're doing it's like, hey, you broke a glass ceiling and all you can think about is fucking up the bag. All liberal Democratic women, judges, mayors, all of them. I said, come on, man. And people keep voting for them. I'm saying, why? Why? And now we can say, well, men don't do much, but I don't believe that. I really don't believe that. And then I see, okay, we have a big incident, and then we see this big buxom ass police chief come out there with all the stars in there, didn't understand what the hell the line of the priority line, whatever the hell you call it. I said, come on, what's going on? That's just got to change. Men need to say, you know what? Okay, the grand experiment is over. We need to take the shit back. And you know what? Just let us love you the way we're supposed to. Just shut up. Of course, that's not gonna happen. But I'm telling you, man, this shit is just destructive, man. We have women in the wrong spots, and they're not doing a good job. Now, are conservative women any better? I think so. I just think they handle themselves better than these people who govern with feelings. So I don't know. We'll see what happens in the future.
I smell wolf in sheep's clothing, brother. When you done wore that wolf suit for so long, you start believing it. You know what I'm saying? You start believing it. And they're moving like it. That's the only reason I came up with it, because I caught it. Because it stuck out to me. Because we hear from the hyena clan all the time.
All the time.
When you start hitting it from the other side, I'm like, wait a minute. That sounds familiar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know a wolf when I hear one. Some of them are a little bit more cunning than others, but I know a wolf when I hear one. So that's the only reason why I'm checking it. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we miss stuff like that. I don't miss much. That's the only reason I came up.
So you've heard April Chapter before? You've seen
I have. I watch her stuff all the time.
Yeah, man.
They get out of pocket too, man.
Yeah. What's she talking about here, man?
She can't accept the fact that she's a loser ass woman. She's always got so much to say about people being parents while simultaneously never having a child in her 50 years on this planet. She's literally a loser. You had one fucking job to do on this planet. One. Have a family. That's it. That's all you had to do. You didn't have to.
You guys just dropping F-bombs. You dropping like how many F-bombs it is?
No infrastructure. You don't have to do anything. God only asked you to do one thing: find a husband, have some babies. You can't even do that. But you got so much to say about people with children. So much to say about people, how they're raising their children, because you got the answers. Tell me in your infinite wisdom how good you are at raising children. Oh yeah, that's right. You didn't use your ovaries. You just let them melt away into the atmosphere. You never used them. But you got so much to say about people who are being parents. Let me tell you something. Since you don't understand about being a parent, let me help you out. Being a parent is an on-the-job training job. You learn as you go. There is no answers to the questions. There are no answers to the tests. You get it figured out as you go, and you do the best you can with what you have. You would know that if you actually used your ovaries, but you didn't. So the fact that you can sit up here in the chat and want to talk shit about people who actually have children and how this works is disgusting. You are a disgusting human being to be in your 50s and to be acting the way that you act. You are disgusting. And if you were here, I would tell you that to your face, that you are pathetic. You are a pathetic piece of crap because you didn't do anything that you were supposed to do as a woman. Relationships aren't easy. Anybody who's been in a relationship with a woman, sometimes they just don't work out no matter what you do. They just don't work out, and sometimes they do. But the one good thing that everybody can always say is, we made some beautiful kids. That's the one good part about it. Hey, you know what? We'll get this thing figured out. We'll co-parent and we'll work to make it good for the kids. Relationships don't work. You should know because you ain't been able to keep one. Aren't you divorced? They don't work out. You know better. So you got so much to say about people being parents, yet you can't do it. And you'll never do it because now you're too old. I got issues with people like you, man. I got real issues with people like that. And the problem is, and I've said this before, the problem in our community is there's no consequences for women. One of the biggest issues we have in this community is there's never any consequences for women. They make mistakes and they get a slap on the wrist. They get to go do it again. That's why they have 1 million more kids than black men do. Because they keep fucking up. They keep doing the same things over and over and over again, and there's never any consequence. There's always a bailout. That's why you're a liberal. That's why you're a Democrat, because they like to bail y'all out. There's no consequence. You better be lucky guys like me aren't in charge, because your ass will be in a cage somewhere, because you're useless. You're worthless to society. You don't do anything. At least with men, even if they don't have any kids, there's still the utility of a man. I can get some use out of him. Even if he doesn't have any kids, he can still be a great product to the society. He can still help us. You ain't done shit for 50 years. Nothing. But you got so much to say. Man, please get out of here, man. This is why one of my biggest issues in the red pill space are paying should never let women in. Women should have never been allowed to be in this because they don't understand what it's like to be a man. They cannot identify it. They are raised completely different than how we are. Completely different. We are raised on competition and hierarchy. We understand where we are and how things have to work. They are raised on being given shit and being in fear. Everything about them is the man gonna do something to you. Be careful with these boys. The man gonna do something to you. Be careful to these boys. Meanwhile, we're raised to treat women with respect and be chivalrous and treat them and pedestalize them. It's not the same. So why do we keep letting them into our spaces? I don't understand this concept. They don't get us.
Yeah, no.
At all.
You know what, Joe Trade is so funny that you mentioned that, because I was going to say one of these things. I got a piece I want to pay for everybody. It's just small. Women always invade men's spaces. They just do. We don't have any place where women haven't invaded. I mean, even in the locker room, guys, in other places, the guys come out of playing ball. The ladies fought so they could be in the locker room with the guys with their dicks out, smelling bad, doing all this shit. And you know why? It's one way, because men still can't get near a woman, and they don't want to. Nobody wants to go into a smelly ass woman's locker room anyway, right? So as a reporter, so they just invade. I remember the golf thing. They don't have what was it? Masters. They said, "Oh man, we don't have no women there." Man, they just can't stand to see if men are doing anything that they can't somehow influence, right? So I mean, that's it. You know what? I'm not so sure it's 100% bad thing from the standpoint that if I don't know what the fuck it is, but
I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is. I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is.
Yeah, tell me what it is, man.
They want the glory without the work. That's it. They want the praise, they want the adoration, but they don't want to put in the work. Any man will tell you when you get the glory, it's because you put in the work. Right. And other men understand that. That's why. Right. So when women get these jobs and these positions and whatever else people give to them, it's like stolen valor. You know what I mean? You didn't earn it. And guess what? Men don't respect it. And people who got common sense know not to respect you. And that's the issue. It's the same thing. They want the glory without the guts, and that's the problem.
Hey, well, you know what?
Which is why wives and mothers are so respected, because we know there's work involved in there.
Oh yeah.
We know that in order to keep a family together, we know that you had to put some work in, and that raising kids isn't easy. That's why we respect it so much.
That's another reason why feminists try to belittle and downgrade motherhood. They try to act like, you're a mother and that's all you've done, when that's the greatest thing you could have done, is be a good mother. Just like when the fatherless kids, or not fatherless kids, women who want to just be mothers without being wives and shit. I mean, it's because feminism told them like it's easier to have a baby, which is a lie, than to have a relationship to raise that kid right. And it's crazy. But, I have this little piece I wrote on why I thought Kamala Harris lost the presidency. And I want to play just a piece of it for you guys, and we could talk about it afterwards. All right. Let me get to it. Let me share it. All right. Now, instead of me reading this mantra, y'all can see it, right?
Yeah, we can set our pain.
Okay, instead of me butchering it, I'm going to let the ladies do it for you.
Our pain, you got to turn the volume up.
Okay. Let me start it again. Just if you can't hear it. I'm going to turn the volume all the way up. So best I can.
All right.
Can you? Let's try it again. Oh, I gotta do this. Damn it! All right. I want to get it to right there. All right. Let me just tell me if it's. Can you hear it?
There's a delay, Arpain.
You want me to read it, man? I can read it. Just put it up the screen. You want me to read it?
No, I can read it, but yeah, but you can read it if you want to. From here, where it's just go ahead and read it.
In other words, Kamala Harris was a casualty of an ideological battle and a war that continues to rage on for the soul of our country. This election but a blood-soaked Band-Aid on an infected wound. The majority of people in America have sent a message to the Democrats that their liberal secularism has gone too far and is tearing apart the fabric of our country from the inside out. The party has gotten so drunk with power and wealth and so far out of touch with the common man and woman that it has lost its way. Donald Trump is the beneficiary of an ideology battle, whether he deserves to be or not. Why else do you think his proclivities and propensities have seemingly been overlooked by the majority of Americans? The answer is simple. His personal shortfalls did not trump the financial and social discontent of American people. The only disturbing result of this election is that African Americans are still stuck in mental bondage by the Democrats, especially Black women. But this missive, that's correct? This missive is not about them. It is about the 21% or better good. The few good Black men that have finally made it off the plantation. I expect that number will double over the next 4 years. In any case, even at 21%, it is clear the Black men have taken an important step into the future, forever breaking the chains and blind loyalty and dedication to the Democrats and their liberal tools of victimization, fear-mongering, and the promotion of woke culture, censorship, propaganda, and identity politics to stay in power.
That's it. What do you guys think about that? Can you hear me? Yeah.
I mean, we've been saying that since when? 6 months before the election, right? We've been talking about that for a long time. That listen, I don't want to go in on my sisters. I really do. I love Black women. I think Black women are beautiful. I really do. When they fit and in shape and they're intelligent and they get it, they're realistic. As far as I'm concerned, they unfuckwittable. I mean that. I mean dead serious. I've come across some Black women, but here's a problem, Arpain. Every time I come across them, they always married. I'm like, damn it. they always married because somebody always scoops them up so fast, right? But my issue with this is I don't believe they ever left the plantation. I really don't. I don't believe that their mindset has ever walked off that plantation. I believe that they are still in Jim Crow era time. They think like it. And one of the ways that I learned this, and I've said this before, being a first responder will red pill the hell out of you because you get to see it. I get to see it every single night. Wait, you call the police? What'd you call the police for? He getting on my nerves. Yeah, but what did you call the police for? You know what I mean? Like, you wanted us to come here so that he can have an emotional outburst and this thing goes left real fast, real quick because you know that he doesn't like the police. Or you like, I watched them use authority. The family court was used against me. I watched them do this over and over and over and over again. They have never left the plantation. And what I see often now is Black men are waking up and saying, hold up. The Democratic Party has been fooling us for the last 45, 50, 60 years. They have pulled the wool over our eyes. It is time for us to do something, which is why you saw the 8% or the 20 some odd percent of Black men that did vote for Trump, right? You saw that because a lot of them are waking up. And I'm telling you, I'm predicting you're going to have a massive turn. I don't think it'll be in 28, but come 2032, you're going to have a massive turn where I think you're going to get close to 40% of Black men will not be voting Democrat because they're starting to wake up. And I'm going to tell you why I feel that way. From the video we just saw where you start to see the women starting to wake up. Because remember, a lot of these guys vote behind based on what the women do. So if you're starting to see these women starting to wake up and saying, this doesn't sound right, you're going to start to see more men start to wake up and go, no, this something's not right about what they're doing to us. At some point in time, we have got to get these Black women off. They don't want to get off though. Because it's comfortable. It's comfortable there. It's sweet there.
Well,
I mean, the milk is sweet.
They're getting pushed off. They're getting pushed off. They're getting pushed out. They'll say, Curtis
The
Scott
work
here.
has been done.
Hey, man, Trey's 1,000% right. They have no idea what it is to be a man, but claim to be male advocates. Oh, they sure not. Shadiya Khan
Yeah.
is a great
Sadia Khan.
Sadia, yeah. Man, she took a big tumble, man. Aber and Preach are some monsters, man. But anyway,
I'm gonna tell you what the problem. I'm gonna tell you what the problem is, Arpain. This country no longer has use for the sisters, and I'm gonna tell you why. The mission is complete. And you know the killing part about it is they know it's that way. Why do you think they brought in all these migrant workers? And the killing part about it, they're not coming from Mexico either. Over this plant, this Hyundai plant, they just rounded up 417 South Koreans.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? My thing is this: if we had black people already trained and ready to go in those particular areas and educated, they would have no need to go outside and get more workers. But see, they understand it. America understands they got bills to pay, and we have stuff to make. And when you don't have enough homegrown talent to do that, it's going to be a problem. Now, here's the problem with the government. The government still hasn't addressed the issue. Why don't these men want to go to work? It's because they don't have motivation. Well, let's ask the next question. Why don't they have motivation? Arpain, in your time when you came up, man, men went to work for what? Their families, right?
Yeah,
so my thing is this: if guys look at families as something not worth having anymore, then they're not going to do anything more than just do what they need to do to survive. They're not going to go out and overly produce, or the businesses won't be able to take advantage of the eagerness to take care of their families if there's no demand. So if there's no demand for those men to go out and do these jobs that these Koreans and Mexicans and everybody else have. Now, we're not talking about field jobs like picking corn and all of this stuff. These guys were working in high paid, highly skilled jobs in an automotive plant. We already know those jobs pay good money.
Right.
So instead of that good money going into the areas that support the local schools and the education system, that money is funneled out of this country.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. That's
How
why
does that help? How does that help America? It does not.
It doesn't. And it was a breach of trust that they were doing too. When they were allowed, with all the bennies they got to build that plant, they try to sneak all of those workers in instead of feeding the neighbor. That's why the people around the area said, man, wait a minute. Wait a second. That's not part of the deal. How can these are Koreans in there making that money? And they probably were paying them slave wages.
No. They were paying them good money.
They were paying them good money?
Yeah. Hey. You on the plant, man. These folks had unions and all kind of stuff. They were paying these folks good money, man. Especially if they think about it. How do you think all these people got here? They
got there, and the plant,
man. You know what I'm saying? They didn't walk to South Korea, brother. They got on a plane first class, baby, and they flew them over. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest. Let's call a thing now.
No,
instead of them hiring people that's locally, when you take money out of your school system, you kind of don't have the talent that you need. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's the issue. Our kids can't read, man.
You hear what I said?
It says so right there on the box, brother.
Yeah.
And we need to call a thing. And we already know why it's that way. You know what I mean? And I think that's the issue. We don't call a thing, man.
So what's so we got, oh man, we have to end, man, pretty much. I guess is that still a rule? The 155 2-minute mark?
Yeah,
man.
We hard, man. We
we're trying to be hard at it. Hey, listen, any last words real quick? Trey, got to give a minute, man. So
Nah, I think obviously I will say this: we're not coming back. It's here to stay. Feminism is not going anywhere. Adjust accordingly. Deal with women the way that you need to deal with them, because it ain't going away. I said this before: Sharia law is not coming back. These women are not going to wear skirts below their knees. It ain't happening. I just saw a woman out today. By the way, it's 60 degrees here in the DMV. By the way, the girl was practically naked. We're not going back to a time where women had elegance, dignity, and class. Anissa should be a prime example of that. She was probably of the last breed. We're never going back to a time. So you need to, as a man, you need to adjust to liberalism, feminism, and socialism. Adjust to it and be ready for it. Be ready for a potential Democratic president, depending on how the midterms go, depending on how 2028 going into 20. You need to be prepared for all these things because anything is up. Anything is up, and you need. Because my issue with a lot of these guys is you're never prepared for anything. I was prepared for Biden. If Biden got in office, I was like, all right, I know how to make a move. If Biden in office, I know what to do. We need to start being prepared. You need to be ready to go both ways. You can still have your conservative views, but you need to be ready to go both ways depending on who's sitting in that office.
Got to survive no matter what. Yeah. All right. Go ahead, Lit. What you got, man?
My last word is think while it's still free. I'm done.
All right. Hey, listen, guys. Thanks for coming up, Trey. Lit. 100 watts. Everybody in this man, start for the fireworks. That was good. Curtis and everybody else who's up. Hey, listen. Thanks for the show. PMU. We'll talk to you later. I am out of here, and we're gonna say good night.